Hey everybody, ready to dive into something interesting. Today, we're all about passive income. We're going deep into Nightingale Conant's The Power of Passive Income.
Yeah, that whole idea of money working for you, not the other way around, it's pretty powerful stuff.
It really is. And in this program, it really makes you rethink what wealth even means. You know,
It's not just about having a fat bank account.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's more about freedom,
Right.
right? The freedom to pursue your passions, spend time with family, that sort of thing.
Absolutely. It's about aligning your finances with the life you want to live.
And that's where passive income comes in.
Right, breaking free from that whole trading time for money grind.
Exactly. So this program dives in tons of strategies, but one thing they emphasize is leverage. You
Mm.
ever thought about that?
Leverage is huge. It's like, imagine trying to move a massive boulder. You could try pushing it yourself, but good luck with that.
Right, you'd be at it forever.
Exactly. But use a lever, and suddenly even a little effort gets you a much bigger result. It's the same with your money.
Okay, so how does that apply to like building passive income?
Well, they give the example of real estate.
Makes sense.
You put down a relatively small down payment,
Right.
but you're controlling a much larger asset, the property itself. As the property value goes up, you benefit. Plus, there's rental income.
So even a small investment can give you control of something much bigger that's making you money. That's amazing.
Hmm.
But it's not just real estate, right? This program also talks about online business, which seems even more relevant today.
Oh, yeah. Even back then, they knew the internet was a gold mine for passive income. And a big part of it is figuring out what you're passionate about.
Right. What are you good at? What do you enjoy?
Exactly. And then figure out how to leverage that online. Maybe you sell products. Maybe you share your expertise through courses. Maybe it's digital downloads like stock photos.
So many options. They also talk about having a user-friendly website, which makes sense.
Yeah, they use this term shallowness. Sounds weird.
It does.
But basically, it means your website should be easy to navigate. Visitors should find what they need quickly without any hassle.
So it's like instead of a deep ocean where people get lost, you want a shallow pool, easy to get in and out of.
Exactly. Make that user experience smooth and enjoyable.
Okay, so we've got leverage, we've got online business. What other avenues for passive income do they explore?
Well, a big one is the stock market. But, and this is important, they don't sugarcoat it. It's not about getting rich quick.
Yeah, no magic formula, right?
Right. They talk about the common traps people fall into, like how many times have you heard buy low, sell high?
Sounds simple enough, haha.
Right. But in reality, it's easy to get emotional about the market.
Oh, I know it.
When the market dips, fear sets in and you panic sell, maybe even at a loss. Then when it's doing well, greed takes over and you make rash decisions.
So how do you avoid those emotional pitfalls?
They're all about having a solid strategy and sticking to it no matter what the market's doing short term. They actually have this great analogy about a horse racing software.
Okay, now I'm curious.
So, imagine this program. It analyzes all the data, the horses, the jockeys, everything. Then it places bets based on a strategy that's proven to be profitable over the long haul. Now, will it lose some bets? Sure.
There are always ups and downs, right?
But the point is to trust the overall strategy, even if there are bumps along the way.
That's such a good way to think about it. It's so easy to get caught up in those individual wins and losses and lose sight of the bigger picture.
Absolutely. And they also talk about the difference between us, the average investors, and those big institutional investors, the hedge funds and such. They call them elephants in the market.
Because they have so much more influence.
Exactly. When an elephant jumps in a pool, it makes a huge splash. But when a little mouse like us dips a toe in, barely a ripple.
Makes sense. So how do we compete with the elephants?
They suggest things like mutual funds.
Pooling your money with other investors.
Exactly.
Oh.
Especially funds that generate passive income through dividends. It's about thinking long term.
So we've got building an online business, dipping our toes into the stock market. What other passive income strategies does this program cover?
They spend a good chunk of time on real estate, which is a classic, right? But they're realistic about it. It's not always as passive as people think.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. It always seemed like more of an active investment to me.
Exactly. Like those no money down deals. They're out there.
Yeah, you hear about them.
But often you're putting in a ton of work yourself. Sweat equity, they call it. Not exactly passive income, is it?
Not really, no.
Mhm.
So for those of us who don't want to be full-time landlords, What do they recommend?
They're bid on finding properties that generate positive cash flow right away.
Makes sense, get that money coming in.
Mm.
But how do you even find those properties?
They've got some good tips. One is to look for handyman specials.
Handyman specials, like fixer-uppers.
Exactly. You know, those properties that need a bit of work.
Right, right.
They might scare off other buyers, but that often means a better deal for you.
So it's about finding those diamonds in the rough. Any other ways to uncover those hidden gems?
Networking, especially with real estate agents.
Good point.
Agents often hear about properties before they're even listed publicly.
They've got the inside scoop.
Exactly. Build those relationships. They even suggest sending direct mail to agents who specialize in the types of properties you want.
Smart. Cut through the noise.
And here's a big one. Figure out the seller's motivation.
Oh, interesting. So it's not just about the price.
Sometimes, no. They might have other reasons for wanting to sell quickly.
Okay, yeah, like a job relocation or something?
Could be anything. They tell the story about an investor who kept making offers, getting rejected every time. You know what finally worked?
What's that?
Talking to the sellers directly.
Makes sense.
Figuring out their needs, their goals. That's when she started closing deals.
It's about connecting with people, building relationships, not just the numbers.
Exactly. Okay, so you found the Persing property, ready to rent it out. Now you need tenants. Big piece of advice they give. Don't rent to anyone you know personally.
Hey, why not? Seems easier.
It's tempting, but it can get messy.
Right. Money and friends, not always a good mix.
Exactly. Like collecting rent from a friend. Awkward.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Plus, you might have different expectations going in. You think they'll be the perfect tenant because you know them, but they might expect you to be lenient because you're friends.
Recipe for disaster. So, professional boundaries. Got it. Any tips for finding good tenants then?
Thorough screening is key.
Background checks, that kind of thing.
All of it. Clear rental agreements are crucial too. And be fair but firm with property management. They even give advice on handling applications, conducting interviews, all while staying on the right side of the law.
Important stuff. Okay, so we've covered online business, stock market, real estate. What other passive income ideas do they have up their sleeves?
Well, they talk about something that might surprise you. Intellectual property and licensing.
Interesting. So like for writers and artists.
Them, but also anyone with specific expertise. They use the example of a translator.
A translator. How's that passive income?
She translates stuff that's in the public domain. You know, old books, classics, things like that.
Right, so they're not under copyright anymore.
Exactly. But her translations, those are new works. She owns the copyright on those.
So she can license them out and make money whenever someone uses them. That's brilliant.
Right. They also talk about securing copyright for any original work you create, and even negotiating licensing fees for things like, say, you're a landscape designer.
So you'd get paid if someone used your designs beyond the original project.
Exactly. Protecting your ideas, that's key these days.
For sure. So real estate, intellectual property, what else is there?
They touch on franchising. That can be huge for passive income.
Franchising, like opening a McDonald's.
Well, not necessarily that big. Though some franchises do need a lot of money up front. They emphasize it's not just about handing over cash and then sitting back. They say a successful franchise needs a few things: credibility, uniqueness, it should be easy to replicate, and adaptable to different markets.
So a solid business model that can work in different places.
Exactly. They give examples, too, of successful franchises. Everything from gourmet sandwiches to a writing academy for kids.
Wow, quite a range.
Right. It shows how diverse franchising is, but it also reminds you that you need a plan, investment, and you have to support those franchisees.
It's not just a hands-off thing then.
Nope. You're building a whole network. Speaking of building something lasting, they get into a topic that's important at any age: financial legacy and estate planning.
Yeah, that's something I've been thinking about more lately, too. Not just my own finances, but setting up my family for the future. What kind of stuff do they suggest?
Aligning your financial goals with your values is huge. They say a lot of wealthy people find fulfillment not from spending lavishly, but from the freedom it gives them, and the ability to support causes they care about. They want you to define success on your own terms, not just about the money.
It's about the impact you want to make.
Exactly. Practically speaking, they talk estate planning, making sure you have a will, and understanding life insurance.
See, life insurance always confused me. Do they get into the different types?
Oh, yeah. They break it down, term versus permanent, the whole 9 yards. They even debunk that myth that whole life insurance is always better. They make a good case for term insurance, especially if you're focused on providing for your family.
It's about making informed choices for your situation.
Exactly. And what I really like is they emphasize that leaving a legacy isn't just about money. It's about passing down values.
That's huge.
Right. Teaching financial literacy to the next generation. They share stories about families who've used their wealth to create opportunities, fund charities, and support each other's dreams.
Using wealth as a force for good. I love it.
Right. And that ties into their final point, which is finding happiness in your financial journey.
So it's not just about the destination, but enjoying the ride.
Exactly. It's easy to get caught up in wanting more, more, more. But real fulfillment, that's about finding that balance between your money and your well-being.
That's a message I think we all need to hear. It's funny though, right? We think passive income, we think less work. But this program, they actually warn against taking that too far.
It's easy to fall into that trap. You set things up, you think, all right, time to relax. But even passive income needs attention, you know?
It's not completely set it and forget it then.
Right. They talk about staying engaged, always looking for new opportunities.
Staying proactive.
Yeah. Like divide your day into 3 parts, catching up on stuff, staying on track with current projects, and then making time for new ideas.
I like that. Building in time to explore and grow.
Exactly. But, and this is important, they also say, don't let your business take over your whole life.
Finding that balance.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They tell this story about a sign maker, super successful, built this whole business.
Impressive.
But when it came to managing his own money, personal finances, he struggled.
Really? Why is that?
He was so used to being in control, working hard, making things happen, he didn't know how to just invest.
It's like he was wired for a different way of operating.
Yeah. And it's a good reminder that what works in one area of your life might not work in another.
You got to adapt, adjust your approach.
Yep.
And honestly, everyone's path to passive income, it's going to be different, right?
Absolutely. They tell a great story about this new mom. She had this amazing idea for baby products.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
No, she didn't have a business degree or anything.
So no big corporate background.
Nope. But her goals, they were crystal clear. She wanted financial freedom. She wanted to spend more time with her family.
Such a powerful motivator.
Right. And even though things got tough, she didn't give up. She turned that idea into a successful passive income stream, and she was present for her kids.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? Designing a life that truly aligns with what matters to you. And doesn't always have to be some huge, groundbreaking idea either.
Sometimes the smaller, more niche things, those are the gold mines.
Finding what you're passionate about and running with it.
Exactly. They end the program with this really sweet story, actually. Retired engineer stumbles into a tutoring business.
Tutoring. Okay, what's the story there?
So he sees a need, right? Kids in his community struggling with school, and he's got the skills to help. Plus, he loves teaching.
So he's like, why not?
Exactly. And he builds this whole thriving business, mostly word of mouth, people telling their friends. He finds this whole fulfilling second act in retirement.
That's amazing. Proof that it's never too late to start something new. And it wasn't about making $1 million for him either. It was about making a difference.
And you know what? That really resonated with people.
Authenticity always shines through. So, as we wrap up here, what's the big takeaway for our listeners? What should they be thinking about after this deep dive into the power of passive income?
Well, we've covered a lot. Online business, the stock market, real estate, franchising, even intellectual property.
We've really run the gamut.
Right. But more than any specific strategy, it's about the mindset. Passive income is about making your money work for you so you can live the life you want. Spend time with family, pursue your passions, give back to the world, whatever it is for you.
It's about freedom and flexibility.
Exactly. So here's a thought for everyone listening. This program, it focuses on the traditional paths. But what about you? Your unique skills, your interests. What could you turn into a passive income stream? Maybe you love gardening, could be a series of ebooks, passionate about photography, online course. The possibilities are endless if you're willing to think outside the box.
There you have it. It's about finding your own unique path. So go explore, experiment, and most importantly, have fun with it. Who knows what amazing opportunities are out there waiting to be discovered. Happy exploring, everyone.